well, right? Today I'm going to teach you a new lesson in chemistry, pure and mixed substances. Now children, when we hear of the word pure substances, a thing comes to our mind that what are pure substances. So it is necessary that we know that pure substances are such substances, children, that are made up of only one kind of molecules. That means they will only have one type of molecules and they will show a definite composition and properties. Now coming to the properties of the pure substances. Now the properties of pure substances are, children, first thing, they are made up of only one kind of substance or one kind of molecule. Secondly, they have a fixed composition. They will have a fixed melting and boiling point. They will have a fixed or a specific gravity that is also fixed. So these are certain properties that we see of pure substances. Now children, in our day-to-day life, many a times if we take a glass of water, right, like this, see, I've taken a glass of water, children. Now to certain people it might look that it is a pure substance, children. But actually in scientific terms, if we say, children, this is not a glass of pure substance. Why, children? Not that because it is not a filtered water. This is absolutely filtered water, children, but still we can't say that it is pure substance because it contains minerals as well as it contains the dissolved gases. So that is why a glass of water cannot be subjected or cannot be termed to be pure substance. Similarly, children, if we take a glass of milk, right, I have taken a glass of milk over here, children. Now again, this is a glass of pure milk. That means it has no sugar, nothing mixed in it. But again, scientifically we say, children, this is again not pure. Why? Because a glass of milk will have proteins, it will have fats, it will have carbohydrates. And if you remember, children, when a baby is born, till 6 months, a baby child is only fed on milk because milk is termed to be a complete food. That means milk contains a lot of nutrients that are required for the healthy growth of our body. But still it cannot be termed to be pure substance. Why? Because it contains all the nutrients that are mixed into it. Right? Next we come to, children, mixtures. Now what are mixtures, children? Mixtures are such substances that are made up of two or more substances that are mixed together in any proportion. That means if I take a glass of water and I mix anything in that glass of water, the thing that will get prepared is termed to be a mixture. Right? Now I'm going to show you how a mixture is being. Now children, I'm going to show you the three different things that are there in a mixture. Now over here I have taken salt, as you can see, children. Over here I have taken a glass of water. Now this is known as, children, solute, right? If anything that you mix into solvent, that is known as solute. So over here because I'm mixing salt, so salt is solute. In what am I going to mix it? I'm going to mix it in water. So water is our solvent. Okay. Now if I take a little bit of salt, this is my solute, in goes into the solvent, and if I mix it, children, right, what is formed is now, children, this is known as solution. As you can see this, children, this is known as solution. Why? Because it has the solute that is already dissolved. As you can see, children, it is already dissolved, so it is known as a solution. So the thing that you mix is known as the solute, which is always a smaller quantity. The thing in which you mix, children, that is known as a solvent, that is always a bigger quantity, a more quantity, right? And when you mix both of them, then what is formed is known as the solution. Next we see, children, there are two kinds of mixtures, children. One that we had seen right now, children, where I had mixed right in front of you, I had mixed salt. You cannot see anywhere where the salt particles are there. So such kind of a mixture is termed to be, children, homogeneous. Now homogeneous means a mixture in which where the particles have disappeared, you cannot see them because they have been evenly distributed throughout the solvent. So this kind of a mixture is known as a homogeneous mixture. Like if you take a glass of water and if you mix sugar into it, then that will also disappear completely. It will make a homogeneous liquid or a mixture. If you take some milk and you mix it into water, that will also become homogeneous. The various fruit juices, children, those are also homogeneous because where the particles disappear or they mix into each other so uniformly that we are not able to find them. Now I am going to show you the second type of mixture, children, that is known as a heterogeneous mixture. Now in heterogeneous mixture, I am going to make it in front of you so that you understand it clearly. Now again, children, I have taken a glass of water. And this, as you can see, children, this is the garden soil. I have taken some garden soil and we are going to pour and we are going to mix it into this. Right? See. Right? Now, as you can see, children, I have mixed the garden soil into the glass of water. Now, what you can see very clearly, children. Some of the debris can be seen floating on top. The color of the water, you can see how much it has changed, and even you can see children, that there is a lot of, see children, as you can see, some of the things are floating on top. The color of the water has changed so much, and some of the dirt can be seen settling down. Now, do you know why the color of this water has changed so much, children? Because very, very small particles of sand or maybe mud are still floating with the molecules of water. That is why we see that the color of the water has actually changed. So this kind of a mixture, children, is known as a heterogeneous mixture, in which the constituents can be seen separately. They will not mix, no matter how much you try to mix them, but they will separate out. Those are known as a heterogeneous mixture. So these were the two different kinds of mixture. Children, air is an important raw material. It is used to manufacture the different gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, noble gases, and even for the industrial purposes, when these gases are required, we take it from air. These gases, to be separated, they are being first liquefied. That means first the air is being liquefied and then the fractional distillation of the liquid air is done. When we do the fractional distillation, children, then all the other gases that are mixed in air, they start separating out. So that is known as fractional distillation. Right? As you can see, obtaining pure gases from the air is given over here, children. Air is first cleaned, then clean dust-free air is compressed. That means it is trying to get liquefied. How will we liquefy? By compressing it and by cooling it. It changes into liquid air. Then liquid air is allowed to warm slowly, and that is known as fractional distillation. And during fractional distillation, children, it starts splitting and breaking up into its various components. Like nitrogen has a boiling point minus 196 degrees Celsius, so it starts separating out. Fraction 2 is of argon, where the boiling point is minus 186 degrees Celsius, and the fraction 3 is of oxygen, where the boiling point is minus 182 degrees Celsius. Starting with the characteristics of the mixture, children, the constituents of the mixture may be present in any proportion. That means they may be present in any amount. That means the amount is not certain. Like if I take a glass of milk, I can add sugar as much as I want. So that depends upon me. So that will form a mixture because that is without any proportion. Only physical changes takes place during the formation of a mixture. If I am taking a glass of milk, children, and I am mixing some sugar into it, then what is it? It is forming a mixture, and that is a physical change. That is not a chemical change. That is physically being done. Next is no energy change takes place during the formation of a mixture. That means no energy is being taken in or is being given out. The constituents of a mixture can be separated by physical means only. Because it has been formed by physical means, so it will be separated also physically or by physical means. The mixture does not have any fixed melting and boiling point. That means it can boil and it can melt at different temperatures. It will not depend upon it will not be fixed, children, because it depends upon how much of the solute is mixed into it. So that ways they can have different boiling and melting point. Next, children, we see what evidence will you give to prove that air is a mixture. Now, air is a mixture, children, that I told you right now. Why? Because it is made up of many gases that are mixed together in any proportion. Now, how can we prove it? So, these are the evidences given. Let's see. Air is a mixture of gases. We can prove it by giving following evidences. First, all gases are mixed thoroughly, but they retain their individual properties. That means though all the gases are mixed together uniformly, children, but still all of them show their own property. Like for breathing, we are only using oxygen. Then for photosynthesis, plants are only using carbon dioxide. In the way nitrogen is also being used by the plants in order to make protein. So every gas is showing and having its individual properties. Then these gases can be separated by physical processes. Physically, we can separate them. The constituent gases do not undergo any chemical change. The gases, when they mix with each other, they are there in a mixture, children. They do not show any kind of a chemical change. The composition of different gases is not uniform. That means it will depend upon the places, children. At certain places, the different gases can be present in different proportion. Like if you go to the hills, children, the quality of the air over there is very pure because the pollutants are less over there. So that way the composition can vary from place to. Next we see, children, separation of mixtures. Most of the substances that are found around us contain impurities. Now these days, children, in the present scenario, it is not possible that we see around and we find around ourselves things that are absolutely pure. We always get the things that are impure. That means they are formed in one or the other form of mixtures. For example, the rice. Now it is only giving you rice over here, but we can take an example of any pulses, anything that you take from the market, children, that contains different kind of substances like the stone, sand, husk, whatever can be there. Even at times insects are there. Milkman usually mixes water in the milk. Kerosene is sometimes mixed with petrol in order to increase the level of profit. Air that we breathe contains the chemical fumes, smokes and dust. Thus all the substances that are there, certain other substances are mixed with them. So that is why it is necessary that we get the pure substances, because we don't want to eat all these things. Now when your mother cooks the rice, first thing is she cleans the rice from all these things and then only cooks it. In the same way, children, it is necessary that we separate all these impurities from the mixtures before we can further use them. Why constituents of mixture are to be separated? It depends upon the need and the other reason. A few reasons are as follows. First, to remove undesirable material from the desirable material. That is the stones and the pulses and all those things, children. Removal of impure substances from pure substances. That is the straw from the milk. To remove or improve the quality of substances. That is water from milk. Right? If we want to drink a glass of water, we want to make sure that it doesn't contain any milk. So that is why it is necessary to separate and clean all these mixtures that we are using in a day. So that's it for today's video, children. I hope I made myself very clear to you and you have understood each and every point that I have explained to you in today's video. If you have really understood, you know what is to be done. Please do like, share, comment and don't forget to subscribe. And please hit the bell icon, because after that you will be notified with every new video that I'm going to upload. See you very soon with rest of the videos upcoming soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.